When all my white friends were at their family cabins, us Filipinos were in the concrete jungle of Winnipeg in the summertime, trying not to get mugged at the mall for our shoes. And I feel maybe because I'm getting older, I want less stuff in my life. Yeah, right, Queen 8. Yo, 60K? Come to my house, get everything. What up, YouTube? That's a little close. What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to the show. I don't know what I'm calling it yet. I'm still workshopping some names. Queen 8 in my feelings. My diary. I don't know. Regardless, welcome to the video where we talk about life and the state of the video game collection, which we've dubbed the Horde. On this week's episode, I had to part with a complete collection from my collection. Sold it out there. We try to appraise 3 quirky and maybe rare, maybe valuable items from the video game collection, and we continue to improve and discuss this thing that we call life. We get through it together. Thank you to everybody truly who commented in the comments below. A lot more comments than I was expecting, so thank you very much. The whole point of me starting this vlog essentially was to kind of keep myself accountable. I noticed that when I was vlogging every day and I had all these goals and stuff and I publicly shared it with everybody, I was way more like successful with it. I was meeting milestones, staying accountable, getting that momentum. And when I stopped vlogging because summer came, no excuses, we bought a trailer. I lost a lot of that and I want to get it back now that summer is here, or summer's done. School is back in session and we're facing life again. Let me know in the comments below how you guys are holding up with that. How was your summer? Really nice to see in the comments some of the regulars. Sega of my house, we watched him grow from a little young man to a fully grown bearded husband. That's awesome. I love seeing things like that. Big Willie True's in there. Eli's in the comments. I see you, buddy. Thank you guys very much. A couple comments I wanted to respond to. Look at this guy, Big Benchin. He asks me what do I bench press? That's a little personal, don't you think? Trying to quantify my manlyhood in some measurable way. 6 inches. Just kidding. But when I don't bench press often because I feel like it reinforces this shoulder, like this imbalance I have. I bet you right now I could go back to the gym, probably bang out 225 on the bar, with the bar. The best I've ever done though was 225 plus 210s. So 245 I did for like a triple. And Kaimo82, another comment I wanted to respond to. He says, just collect games you are fond of. That makes sense. In today's day and age, I believe that is the way to go. But in my defense, in a lot of our defenses, people who have hordes the same as this, eons ago when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, Queen 8 and Lester were out at the thrift store. And games were cheap and plentiful. There was a bounty out there. So games were $2, $1 sometimes, 50 cents. If you got the game, you had like an hour, 30 minutes of pleasure out of it. Well worth its weight in gold. You know, but nowadays you don't have as much availability. It's a lot harder to find games, so you got to be really focused on what you want. I think time is more valuable the older I'm getting, so you haven't seen me go to the thrift store in a lot. So yeah, I do agree. Nowadays, pick what you like. If I really wanted to, I could have stopped game hunting, collecting like a month into collecting. All the games that ever meant anything to me, I got within, let's say, the first 6 months of collecting. And everything else was just extra. But it's fun discovering hidden gems without having Metal Jesus recommended to me. That's the way to go. Well, this week in life, we were winding down at the trailer, really trying to squeeze out those last days there, enjoying it, spending time with the family. Truly, I'm so happy we bought that trailer. It's an experience that I never got to have as a kid, you know?
This isn't possible. It could be anywhere. It's like trying to find a fart in a jacuzzi.
When all my white friends were at their family cabins, us Filipinos were in the concrete jungle of Winnipeg in the summertime, trying not to get mugged at the mall for our shoes. I always imagined my buddy Derek swinging from his tire swing, falling into this beautiful crystal lake when he says he was at the cabin. But those are priceless memories that my kids will have for the rest of their lives. So I'm really happy. It really helped us bond together, finding that time. But we made it a point before we left the trailer. We're back home more often now. We probably only have like a couple more weeks to go back out to the trailer. But we made it a point to like visit a lot of the thrift stores and pawn shops that were surrounding the trailer, because the trailer's outside the city, obviously, and a lot of areas that we don't frequent. I try to make it a point to go. We went into this one town called Selkirk in Manitoba. It's a clean city. I love how quiet it is. It's kind of big, but it's kind of small. They only had one pawn shop in the city, which really surprised me because it was so clean in there. I'm not used to clean, organized pawn shops like that here in the city. You know, it smelled like he had an air filter in there. All the games were presented nice and neatly with prices on them. In the city here, they're just like in stacks, and you have to ask for the price, and there's usually like Coke residue on it. At this place, you could tell he cleaned everything. He was very courteous. It was very nice. I walked out with one game, though. All the prices on the games there were pretty standard. But when it comes to like the thrift stores, there was nothing. Thrift stores were empty. I feel like somebody has a lockdown there. Got it locked down, consignment, whatever. They have side deals that we, the public, don't get. I never see any games there. It's just always a bust. So I'm probably next year not going to be going to the thrift stores as much. Just the pawn shops, I think, will be good. I'm going to try to get to more spots out there, too. And I'll record it with you guys because I commit to staying consistent with these vlogs. Last week, it kind of was a bummer. We were talking about midlife crisis and talking about the finiteness of life. Is that my midlife crisis creeping in? I don't know. I've found, though, talking about it helps, and setting goals and being motivated does help. I was reading a couple books, though, like Stoicism and stuff. They offer, like, tidbits of information, but it's a lot different when you're kind of going through the motions. Like, easier said than done. You know, remember, death comes for us all, that type of thing. Yeah, that don't make me feel better, you know? But I'm coming to grips with it. One thing that really did help, though, was thinking about, like, how many ancestors I had, how many men that came before me, you know, that had to face the same thing. My grandfather, more recently, my cousin, who had to faced it like brave men. And here I am being a little sourpuss. Time to man up, guys. Let's man up. Empty platitudes. That helps. Not thinking deeply about things. But I still want that motorcycle. My Polaris slingshot. I made a goal last video to say next summer, I really want to have the Polaris slingshot. Sega of my house was saying too, motorcycles are neat. They're not midlife crises. They're just fun to have. So yes, I am not going through midlife crisis. I want my motorcycle. We will get there together. Gotta keep selling. We'll talk about more at the state of the horde. So before we get to the video game stuff, I made 3 commitments to you guys last week. Let's go over them now. Did I meet them? Spoiler alert, absolutely. I made a goal to be more active last video, and the whole point of that really was to just get back that momentum, kind of instead of going from like a dead stop to full out Kuyanate at the gym every day, take that transitional step just to be more active. So I got my ass out of bed, knowing that I had to stay accountable to you guys. I didn't sleep in. I got up. I went for a bike ride before breakfast a few times at the trailer. Yes, thank you very much. I feel like I'm getting back on track. My goal for this next vlog coming up is to get back into the gym and really get that resistance work back in. Get those muscles woken up. Get that creatine back in my body. Just to get fit. So hopefully next week I'll have some gym accountability footage for you guys. eBay listing my midlife crisis. I want to get that motorcycle. One of the ways I'm going to do that is to sell off a lot of fluff in the collection. I have made a goal to have 1 posting per day just to work that eBay algorithm, and I stayed consistent with that last week. This week I want to continue that. So 7 listings. Let's up 10 listings by next video. I'll put the listings here. And staying consistent with the vlog, the 3rd commitment I made. Here I am. I want to make these videos every Monday. That's my commitment to you guys. And I'm here for episode 2. So success. So enough about life. Gaming is life. The state of the horde. In this section, we go over all the happenings in the state of the video game collection, the horde, as we dub it here on thriftdweller. So overall, the name of the game has been Purging. I've been listing a lot of the fluff on eBay. I don't know why. Over the years, I haven't been playing that CJR type game where you buy like a double or a triple of something and you sell it. I don't know why. I just keep them on the shelf, and I feel maybe because I'm getting older, I want less stuff in my life. Yeah, right, Kuyanate. Yo, 60K? Come to my house, get everything. Graded video games, complete in box, sealed video games, all my consoles, except for one Sega Genesis you can't have, all my loose carts. 60K, that's American. I'm throwing that out there now. If anyone wants to step up to the plate, big boy. Seems like everyone on YouTube now is a reseller anyways. But yeah, 60K, American, not Canadian. I would consider getting rid of my entire video game collection. In the meantime, I'm just trimming the fat. We're getting closer to that motorcycle. 25K is what we need to hit. That seems so far away, but we can do it. Just to get the motorcycle, 25K is the target. One thing though, one interesting thing I found is the more I'm selling the extras, the doubles, the more I'm really cherishing the items that I am keeping. Like I'm trying. If I have 2 copies, like say of Twilight Princess for the Sega, if I have 2 copies of Twilight Princess for the GameCube, I'm keeping the better conditioned one. But now I'm afraid, because before, when I had 3 copies of a game, if one broke, one had disc rot, what have you, I had another copy to back it up, right? Now, I only have 1. And I've realized I would do the thing where I would clean the contacts maybe, but that was about it. I didn't do anything really to maintain this collection. And now that I'm getting rid of a lot of my extras, I really want to focus on preserving these items the best that I can. Cleaning them, opening them up inside, changing capacitors if I have to, replacing batteries so they don't leak and break the motherboard. So on next week's vlog, I think you're going to see I've invested in a couple items to help me with that goal. So stay tuned for next week's vlog. Hopefully it comes in. I won't say it now until it comes in from eBay. I have to order some things online. But that's next week. This week, the return of the segment Sold Out. It was spelled like that intentionally. It was not my dyslexia. The segment will really focus on things that have left the collection, left the horde. And this week I really had to meditate on getting rid of something, a completed set from my collection. I listed on eBay a couple weeks ago my complete run of Goosebumps books, 1 to 62. There was actually some extras in there. It was about 70 Goosebumps books. But you guys were with me. We completed the collection together a couple years ago, finding those later issues, volumes, books in the collection together, some of the rarer ones. I didn't realize how popular Goosebumps collecting has been. There's like whole Facebook groups on it now. I think you're going to see soon there's going to be like a price charting thing. Before I get into what it's sold for, I did have 2 other Goosebumps related listings to just kind of, when I purged it, I didn't want to keep any remnants of the collection. It's all or nothing, baby. Had another listing. It was a run of Give Yourself Goosebumps. It was like the Choose Your Own Adventure books from, in the Goosebumps world. For people who don't know, I had a mission to collect the first 22 of that set, because after 23 and up, they had changed the covers to, like, I don't know if you guys remember what Goosebumps 2000 looked like, more modern version Goosebumps books, but in the Give Yourself Goosebumps, the first 22 had that cool holographic cover. So I was missing number 18, and we could not find that book in any of the local thrift stores. I didn't want to resort to buying it online, but so I sold it 1 to 22 minus number 18. That one sold as well. I had a miscellaneous lot as well of Goosebumps books, some of the Monster Edition books, the hardcover ones. So my complete set, 1 to 65 plus some extra doubles, sold for $465 Canadian. That was sold to some guy in Texas. It's like $70 to ship it there. I was already surprised. He was very nice, actually. He reached out to me to talk about how much he loved Goosebumps. And in a way that kind of made it better, where it was kind of weighing heavy on my heart to get rid of this collection. I did enjoy reading it, but I read like 5 or 10 of them. But I don't know if you guys watch Chase After the Right Price. It seems like every YouTuber, retro video game YouTuber is a reseller now. Phoenix Resale. Remember the good old days when we would ridicule resellers?
Fool this man!
Not saying hate on them. I'm just joking around, okay? Where was I? I can't remember what I was talking about. The Give Yourself Goosebumps bundle, so 21 books, because I was missing that one, sold for $108 Canadian, which is not too bad. I think that sold to some guy in Ontario. He also bought the other miscellaneous lot, but average cost per book is $1. There was 91 books in total of all the Goosebumps books that I sold, so $91 investment yielded $573. So not a bad day at the office. It's really good. Now I know where I was going with that Chase After the Right Price. One thing that helped me feel okay about this sale was that I was letting these items go into the hands of people who would appreciate them. Chase After the Right Price said that was one of the biggest drivers for him. I don't know if I believe him or not. I'm pretty sure he likes the money. So do I. But getting items into the hands of people who truly appreciate it, it's way better than having something rotting away in a box. And that made it feel a little bit better. Also, any of the Goosebumps books, you can find them transcribed online for free. They're great stories. It's a nice snapshot of life in the 90s, reading stories about kids who riding around on their bicycles, going home to call their friends on a landline, getting tips from a newspaper. that he would open because there was no internet, no cell phones back then. It was great time to be alive. Man, I'm getting old. But yeah, let me know what you think about the Goosebumps sales in the comments below. Was I okay to sell them? It was hard to make the decision to sell it, but once it left and I shipped it all out in those big boxes you saw, it felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I felt good about it, actually. $60,000, you could buy my entire video game collection. This complex of being labeled a reseller. Boo that man! But that ends the segment sold out. Enough of what we're selling. Let's get back to the horde and things that we're acquiring, keeping in the vault here at Thrift Dweller. If you want to know the combination to the vault, it's $60,000 American. It could all be yours. Wow, saying it out loud feels weird. I think we're going to name this segment What's It Worth? Or check out these oddities. Peripherally related video game items from my collection. We're going to review them, we're going to take a look at them, and we're going to try to appraise them and figure out what they're worth in today's market. I have not looked up the value of any of these oddities I'm presenting for you guys to review today. Let me know in the comments below what you think they're worth. And at the end of the segment, I will post how much they're worth. I won't know as of recording this before I leave you guys what it's worth. We'll react to that next week. The first item I wanted to bring to your attention. I don't know if a lot of people know about these. I got this in the late 2000s, maybe early 2010s. The Resident Evil deck building game. I bought the first one by myself. I think I have them on the early 2012 videos from this channel. This was like the base set. And my friends actually bought me the 2 expansion box sets. I can't find one of the boxes. I think it got ruined when it had a little bit of water back up in my basement here. But I love Resident Evil games. You know, it's horror, but it's not really true horror. People who like I don't know how people like Silent Hill. Game F's with my mind. I tried to get Lester to learn this game, and he hated it. He hated it. I feel like high-end, premium, adult board games or tabletop games are trendy, and I think a lot of them hold their value, so I'm going to guess all 3 expansions should be worth $200. These were expensive back in the day, too. They're at least $70 per. Put. Oh! Queen 8 used to play football in high school, guys, for real. Outside linebacker, baby. NFL Extreme 2 football. This is probably, 1999. So it is vintage. I'm assuming it came out as a promo item for the game, for the PlayStation. Let me know if you know about this. I don't think it's worth very much, but I think it's just neat and cool to have. CFL balls are bigger. That's the Canadian Football League. We have bigger balls. If I was to estimate a value on this, probably only $20. That's probably why I'd keep it. I would sell this if anyone wanted to buy this off me for like $50. I would. Check out at the end of the segment. Was I correct? What were you? Were you correct? Am I wrong? What do you think this is worth? Let me know. And last but not least, the rarest item. I know this one does hold a lot of value in it. I traded a N64 and some games for it. Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. For people who don't know, Resident Evil 4, that's my jam. That's my game. One of the top 3 games of all time for me. I love it. We already had, we had 2 Resident Evil items in this list. I don't like that. I like to separate them. Anyways, I don't know if this is brand new or not. I don't think this came wrapped or anything like that, but I've never opened it since I bought it. The guy who sold it to me said he never opened it. It still looks like it's factory condition. There's some weird little things inside of it too, though. So I don't know. I don't even know how to open this thing. You see little specks of fabric or whatever inside there. But overall, beautiful, beautiful display item. I have it at the bottom of my display cabinet here. If you played the game, you know that there's one section in Resident Evil 4 where you're in the castle. And there's like a display cabinet that looks like this. And that's where you get the rocket launcher. Apparently with this controller, when you raise the controller up, I don't know if there's sensors in it or what have you, but that's how Leon Kennedy raises his gun. That's crazy to me. That's cool. I've never used this thing before. I've never watched people use it. I'm going to guess. We'll go by price charting. Used value on this would be $300 Canadian. Brand new, it should be worth $550. How did we do? Let's check it out. And that's it for this week's vlog. Thank you very much for joining me. Next week, I commit to you guys, we will have a name for this vlog. Let me know in the comments below if you have any fun names. I want something that's not like, ooh, the vlog, or, you know, something obvious. I like things, I like companies that have names like Apple. It has nothing to do with computers, I don't think, anyways. Before we go, Queenate's quote of the week. I should have made a quote of the week. Came across this really cool meme on Facebook. Every lesson that a father should teach their sons. So if you're young, maybe this applies to you more. And if you're older and you have kids, maybe you could pass down this nugget of wisdom to them. There was a list. What was on that list? Never turn down a breath mint. That was on the list. Look a man in the eye when you shake his hand. That was on the list. The one on that list that really stuck with me the most, and one thing I'm going to use going forward, was never let a wishbone take the place where a backbone ought to be. Dwell on that. Confucius say. Thank you very much for joining me this week. Peace. Let me know in the comments below. Let's do it together, guys. We got to stick together. 40-year-old dads, retro video game collectors, whoever you are watching this. We are one, because it is together that we prevail.
Together that we prevail!
Ha 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 ha.